Hello and welcome to the EzStamp 2019 edition What's New video. Over the past several months we've been very busy updating EzStamp with some great new features which are available as a free update to all registered users of EzStamp 8 as well as new purchasers. I'll be using the Ceylon database for our demonstration today. Ceylon is also currently known as Sri Lanka. Okay, so let's go over some of the enhancements. We've added the priority want and sell list totals and values to the grand totals reports now as 4 new fields. This now allows you to see on your grand totals report not only the value of your collection, but what it would cost you to purchase your items in the priority want list and what you could get for the items that you've marked to sell in your priority sell list. So here's an example. So I'm going to run the grand totals report. And I'm going to use the basic country GT report profile. Click on show. And as you can see, here is the net priority want list total. So this is what it would cost you to purchase any items that you've marked for purchase. And this is what the net PSL, this is what you could get if you sold all the items that are marked in your priority sell list. All right, so let's close that. We've also added purchase from, and also known as buy from, and sold to fields for the grades. That's this area here, the first day caches, PNB and PNC records. The PNB and PNC records will only show for countries that you've enabled that in or where we have supply data like the USA. Now these fields are available in searches and reports for standard, line item, and grand totals. So I'm going to run a line item report. And I'm going to use the default bind from sold to profile. And as you can see, there is now a buy from, so this tells you who you purchased your stamp from if you entered it, and if you sold your stamp, there's a column here of who you sold it to. Another significant change we made is for backups. Backups will no longer back up pre-supplied images. Only custom image files will be backed up when the backup image option is selected. There's no need to back up our supplied images. Another caution is always be sure to name your images as my123 or my124 so as not to conflict and override with our images. So let me show you how. Go to File, Country Data File Utilities, Create Backup, and you would select this if you wanted to back up any images that you have entered into the software. Okay. We've also added a preference option on how to select values from drop-down lists based on the 4 types of auto-completion. So this is available from the Options menu in the General 2 tab here. So we go to Options, Preferences, General 2, and you would choose the method that you want when drop-down lists are displayed to you. I'm going to show you an example just to make that clear as how to actually use this field. So let's say you wanted to add a category for this Queen Victoria stamp, and I'm going to select a category of royalty. So what you do is you just start typing in the field, and as you type it will pre-populate the little window underneath. You can use the arrow keys to select the one that you want, and then you click on it, and obviously my keyboard messed up, so I'm going to use the arrow key, and then when I select it I hit enter, and that didn't work either. Try it again. And then you could save that record as the category that you've selected. And this applies to any of the drop-downs, whether it's location or cross-reference. I don't have anything populated in there right now to show you. Okay, the other thing related to drop-down lists is that they're all now accessible from the list editors. So you go to Utility, List Editors, and choose the one that you want. And you can now add anything that you want from this screen here. You can sort them and remove items that you don't want in there. Another way to get to these utility editors is directly from here. So if you are in the FDC tab, if you right click, you can go to Edit FDC Makers and it'll take you to that same place. Just a quicker way of doing it. Okay, so one of the major enhancements that we made in this version here is we've added a real time-saving feature, namely drag and drop capabilities for images. You can drop an image from another application, such as Windows File Explorer, or cut and paste into the main EzStamp image area. The image links or the single record edit dialogues for FTC cache, PMB, MP, and C records. Again, always be sure to name your images as my123 or my124 so as not to conflict and override our images. Alright, so the best way to show you this is to actually show you some examples. So I'm going to bring up, and we don't want to save those. So here's a stamp that we don't actually have an image for yet, but we have scanned one, so we're going to add it. So what you can do is several ways to add your images. What I'm going to do is I'll bring it over so that you can see it. I have pre-scanned some images, and what I'm going to do is I'm just literally going to drag and drop it into the main window area. And as soon as I drop it, you have the option now of saying, do you want this to be your primary or secondary image? We're going to say primary. And as soon as you click OK, now that image is set. So you no longer have to browse and point to set your images. So I'm going to do one more. So here's a stamp that we already have an image for. And I'm going to get my images back. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a first day cover to it. So if you right click and then select FDC image, I can drag and drop an image in there. It will automatically fill in the file name for you if you named your image, and click save. And now you see not only the primary image but the FDC image as well. Another thing that I'm, pardon me, another option that I'm going to show you here is how to add images for FTC caches. So I have an entry that I already made for this FTC, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to first show you the secondary viewer, and I'll just kind of have that sitting off to the side here. And then I'm going to right click and click on Edit Selected, and now I can drag and drop my image. This is a slightly different cache, and it has been linked to this record, and here is a preview of that one. That is different than the one that we linked on the main side here, right? So remember, this one was done as the primary FDC. In the FDC tab, I've linked a separate record. Alright, let's do one more so that it's a little clearer for you. Let's bring up this guy here. Okay, so here is the main image for Scott number 394. I've added an FDC already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and click on Edit Selected, and I'm going to drag and drop an image in there. and there it is. So that's the first one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a second FDC record here. So if I just double click in here, click on the plus sign, I'm going to put in my number here, and I'm going to use and for FDC Maker, I'm just going to actually show you one of the new things that we've done to make it easier to select. You just click this icon here and you can type in whatever you want. And there we are. So now if I want to add another first day cover image for this, again I right click, let's go back here and save it. I right click, edit selected, and then I will drop a different image in there. And there we are. So for the first one, oh actually I added it to the wrong one. Let me change that again. So I'm going to edit selected. The reason was I had it highlighted the wrong image. There we go. And let's use a different one for this guy here. So now you can see as you switch between the two records, you have different images attached to them. Okay. I've actually shown you that new feature for when you get into the detailed areas. And let's bring this back again. So I'm going to go back here, and if I right click and do a quick edit, you will see that there is an icon when you are on one of these drop-down lists. So again, if I go here and I select FDC Maker, you'll see this icon here, which will let you choose an item from the list. Okay. The manual has been extensively revised to incorporate all these new features, and you can access it by going to Help, EzStamp Manual, and then let's make this a little smaller so we can see it, and then you can just scroll down and read the relevant areas. There's thumbnails for each of the pages. The other way to access it is through our context-sensitive help. So for example, if you're in this area here, if you just hit F1 on your keyboard, it will take you to the context-sensitive area that will describe that particular function. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye for now.